What's up? David here, Core Confidence. And today we're talking on the topic of why meeting women other than in person is a losing game ultimately and how best to win. So, plenty of guys that reach out to me and that I speak to every week are definitely, struggling with their dating lives and struggling with a lot of times with online dating. And a lot of times it's the only avenue that they're trying to use. Now, I'm going to throw in here because I've talked about online dating before as not a great strategy to use for many reasons. There are other videos and all that. We're going to get into that. We naturally have to. But one thing that I want to say is this is about other than in person, which could mean dating services, right? I talked to successful guys that use dating services to try to go get them a pool of women that would be a match and profiling and all this. There are guys that are into, okay, well, since it's not working out for me here in America, then I'll go and meet women overseas, which AKA is mail order brides, right? So if online dating is the strategy here, then so meeting women in person up here, online dating here, then it's like, dating services here, lower than online dating, actually, I believe. And then mail order brides down there, right? Which is kind of mail orders, like almost a combination of the dating service and online, sort of, but different. And so, when a guy's online dating and I speak to him on the phone or whatever on a call, there's a lot of hope. Sometimes when I come across a guy who's a mail order, who's into mail order and overseas women, I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I can get through this guy, because those women in those mail order things are really good at making guys feel wanted and all this stuff. Whereas online dating, it's because they're really after, in general, they're after a passport, they're after resources, they're after all the wrong reasons that you want to be with the women, and they know how to woo a guy. And actually, some of them I found out are trained to do that. They go through training overseas. Okay, so that's why I'm always pushing. You want to have the skills to pay the bills to meet women in person, socially, etc. Right? And so let's go through this here. Let's dive in. So, and this is huge, huge, huge for the guys that this content is really shaped to, and the guys I help most, which are successful in their career, their business, other areas of life, reasonably good shape, got it together. Everything looks good on paper, and they should have a killer dating life or women attracted to them or the right relationship. And it's just a struggle. It's just not happening for them. Right. And so the first reason why, and the first reason why guys go, through other means that's hidden and they're unaware of, is there are actually hidden issues of lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, wanting to avoid rejection, seemingly practicality to do it online, but a lot of times have, especially front-end confidence issues, but might have it down the line as well, and or attraction issues, okay? And what that means here is that those issues are going to play out eventually anyways. And so online can be a way to mask or hide the fact that a guy is avoiding by not even being aware. And, avoidance is a very interesting thing. I work with a lot of clients on how, it's the avoidance that gets us isn't the gross avoidance, meaning the overt stuff, the stuff that's obvious. It's the stuff that's subtle. I'm too tired. This is just easier. I don't want to go out. I don't want to talk to her. She's probably got a boyfriend. All symptoms of confidence problems most all the time. Okay, most all the time. Because the idea is you want to be the most attractive version of yourself, most confident version of yourself. You still want to be authentically you, but you want to be your best you. And so part of being, I believe, and if you believe like I do, that you want to be your best self, have what you want, deserve in life across the board in all areas, you're already rocketing your career career business, doing pretty decent in your health. I'm not talking about have to be an Adonis, but I'm surprised at the number of guys that reach out to me. Well, I'm not surprised anymore, but that are, even in their 50s that say, hey, I'm, trying this online thing, and the women are just like, haven't even kept up. They look old. I don't look old. I look 10 years younger. I hear that all the time with the kind of guys that reach out to me, the kind of guys that gravitate towards me and that I attract, right? I'm 43. I often get told I look early, mid-30s, sometimes late 30s, but not 43, okay? That's a vibe thing, that's an energy thing as well. But it's also, you know, how you present yourself and how you believe about yourself. So, you know, if you believe like me that you want the best in life, you don't want to be using online dating services, definitely not mail order brides, well, at all. You know, for the last one for sure. Speed dating is another way that I hear on occasion that it doesn't, it's sort of like trying to get a Band-Aid for an open wound that's bleeding where you need suture and stitches, right? A lot of these things are Band-Aids for what's really going on under the hood, you know? And so that's one reason. And so, you know, to win is to fix those confidence issues and attraction issues, right? The second reason why meeting women other than in person is a losing game is you can get a way quicker assessment of what she's really like when you have the skills to pay the bills and meet the women in person than if you are trying it online, trying to figure it out. So many times, right, they don't look like their pictures. The pictures are old, or they're taking it from certain angles. Women are masters of the whole angle thing. I heard within the last 6 months or so about these Instagram models. Sometimes will take like 30 pictures in a row to get the one picture they want to look a certain way. To get one picture. And actually, I heard about it from like a former Instagram model who said she was super miserable because her whole life was about trying to look good. And she was like, what the hell, right? And trying to look a certain way on Instagram and get more followers and blah, 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 blah. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff that goes on, let alone you don't know her personality, her vibe, which leads to the thing is you don't get to transmit your vibe and your personality if you don't have the ability to do that in person and bring those qualities to your interaction. Now, of course, you got to be able to do it, right? And again, a lot of things, you know, just a little side note, a lot of guys always believe it's if I just knew what to do and say, David, if I just knew what to do and say, this would all be solved. Again, that's a cover symptom for a confidence or self-esteem issue. 95% of the time, I'm not saying what to do and say doesn't matter, but it's not the core issue for a lot of guys. Core of confidence is what this is called, right? And so, so kind of, it's the same as you can't sense her, she doesn't get to sense you, but still, you got to be, right? You got to have enough swagger and mojo, which I've talked about in other videos. Your own, it's important. It's not about being a cocky douchebag, but one that's a self-assured confidence, you know, cool to people and all that. But have that and bring that, and that trumps what to do and say. Again, not that what to do and say doesn't matter, and leading her correctly, you know, leading her to chase you, which we're all about, having women chase us in a fun and honest and authentic way, right? And where you have the healthy power and control. And so, you know, and then the last thing is, in general, you've got to be the pursuer when you're using online and these other ways. Because everybody's thinking traditionally, and you gotta, when you do things in person the way that I talk about, you're the leader of sort of the belief system, for lack of a better way to look at it. And for the most part, in the pursuer position, even on apps like Bumble, where she reaches out first, it's still like can be kind of a shit show, especially because guys are pursuing, right? And we want you to be in the position of the guy women chase, inspiring her to chase you. Okay. So, just some 4 points here that I want to cover of those, you know, why meeting online other than person losing game is you're not addressing what's really going on in the hood of those confidence issues. And look, that can be hard to see or even figure out what that is, which I'm here to help with. You know, you don't get to know what she's like and what her personality's like. Conversely, she doesn't get to see what you're like, and then you can't use the all-powerful vibe that I talk about. And then a lot of times you're in the pursuer position because it's just assumed and you're going to act that way. I mean, that still comes from you, but it's kind of almost like it's set up that way in what I've observed on apps and sites and all that stuff, right? The guy's got to reach out first and all the time. So, listen, if you're the kind of guy where, you know, things look good on paper, you're successful in your career business, you're pretty in pretty good shape, you're reasonably healthy, and you know, other areas of life are going pretty good, but this area of your life, your love life, your dating, your relationships just isn't working in the way that you want it to. You could be struggling a lot, or you could be kind of dating some women and it's just not the women that you really want, the ones you're attracted to. I hear all the time of guys that say, The ones I want don't want me, and the ones I don't want me, right? Which that's no good either, right? So if you're that kind of guy who's crushing your career, business, things are going well, and you're just struggling in this area, reach out. You can send me a PM. You can also go to coreconfidence.com. The link now is /talk. And what I'm offering this month in particular is a limited number of 15-minute attraction assessment. Okay, an assess react your confidence, your attraction, your dating life, what's working, what's not, all that stuff, and see how I can best help you out and give you a prescription moving forward of what's best for you. Okay, so just feel free to reach out. You can do PM. You can go to that link, coreofconfidence.com/talk. And always go to coreconfidence.com and just check out the blog and the resources there. Invite you to plenty of stuff on this page as well. So on and so forth, etc. Page group. And that's about it for now. So we will talk to you guys later.